So before starting again, I would like to remind you that please put your name. I hope you have revised what we have done. We did the structure of leaves, the function of leaves, the different parts of the plant. And then we started with the different we were doing the classification of plant according to their environment. So we'll continue with that. Any doubts, you can clear it in the doubt class. Okay. So plants grow about almost all over the world, either on land or in water. And yesterday I told you that the aquatic plants are plants which grow in water. Aquatic plants are plants which grows in water. Aqua, it always relates to water. Is that clear? Now this can be again divided into three. That is the floating plant, fixed plant and underwater plant. You can divide these into three. That is floating plant, then fixed plant and underwater plant. The name itself is very clear, but still we will do it. Floating means the plants which float on water. They are seen floating on the surface of water in ponds and lakes. Now, the example is water hyacinth and duckweed. You can keep these examples, water hyacinth and duckweed. Fixed plants are those plants which are fixed under the water. They are roots fixed in the soil under the water, like lotus and what? Lotus is the common example. Lotus and water lily. Lotus and water lily. Underwater is they are submerged. They are inside under the water. These plants remain underwater, and these are Hydrilla and Willisnaria. Hydrilla and Willisnaria. So please keep these examples in mind. Is that clear? Floating plants are seen floating on the water. Fix these plants. The lotus, the most common example you can see is lotus. You can keep in mind. Fixed plant, the roots are fixed to the soil, and underwater plants, they remain under the water, but you can see from the top that there is some plant under the water. Example of underwater is Hydrilla and Willisnaria. So this was about the aquatic plant according to the environment, condition of a place. Terrestrial, next is terrestrial plants. Terrestrial plants. Terrestrial means land. Terrestrial means plants which grow on land. Plants, now again we can divide plants which grow on land. There are different conditions. There are different conditions in which they'll grow. First is plants which grows in plains. Plants which grow in plains. Plants which grow on mountains. Plants which grow in deserts. So these are the different conditions in which the plants. So we'll be doing it in that. Trees in plains have a number of branches and leaves, like neem. We can see neem tree, shisham, teak, gulmohar. These trees can bear the heat of summers. In winters, they shed their leaves. Now these examples I'll write down: neem, shisham. So these trees, they can bear the heat of summers, and in winters they shed their leaves. See, shedding of leaves help them to prevent water loss, and it helps them to survive. And why do they shed their leaves? They help them to survive in winters. Is that clear? So two examples you can keep in mind is, then desert plant. Plants which grows in desert. Desert, you know that less rainfall, at least no rainfall, then sandy soil. These trees are, the desert area is covered with sand and they receive very little rainfall. Plants like cactus, very common example is cactus, prickly pear. Prickly pear. Plants in cold region. Plants in cold region. Again here, the surrounding is different. So here, trees are generally tall and straight. Leaves are needle shaped. On mountains, you see tall trees and they have got needle-like shapes. You can say example is pine. Then plants in hot and humid region. Plants in hot and humid region. Aquatic, I'm rubbing it out. Hot and humid region. Hot. Hot and humid region. Now what happens, these plants are evergreen and do not shed leaves in a particular season, like coffee and sugarcane. Coffee and sugarcane. And then plant in marshy areas. Marshy areas. The soil is sticky and clay. Now what happens in marshy areas? The soil is sticky and clay. The clay soil, clay. The plants do not get any air. Because the soil is clay, they do not get any air. And through their roots in the soil. So these plants have special breathing roots that come out of the soil. These marshy areas, they have got special roots which come out of the soil, and so they are called mangrove. These plants which grow here, they are called mangrove. Mangrove plants, mangrove trees. Is that clear? So these are the different conditions in which the plant grows. Is that clear? You have to keep the examples in mind. So plants in, first we did plants in plain, then plants in deserts, cold region, hot and humid, and hilly areas, and plants in marshy areas. Hilly areas we have not done. We can say hilly areas example, you can, very common example is plants that grow in hilly areas, tea. Tea grows well in hilly areas. The rainwater flows down the slopes. Is that clear? So this was the classification of the plants according to their surrounding. Is that clear? Now such plants, next is plants such as wheat, maize, rice, jowar, bajra, they belong to the grass family. You can say that they belong to the grass family. These plants, they belong to the grass family. Some plants, next is some plants, they eat insects. They are called insectivorous plants. This insectivorous, will be doing it again in this in class 5. So you keep in mind that these plants, they trap insects. So, and they feed on these insects. So they are called insectivorous plants. Examples are pitcher plant, Venus flytrap. Pitcher plant, P-I-T-C-H-E-R, pitcher plant and Venus flytrap. Venus flytrap. So these are the different plants. We have just classified these plants into different classes. Okay. So this was about the plant life. Again, we can just revise. Yesterday we did parts of plant. Today we did the aquatic plant, plants in plains, desert plants, plants in cold region, plants in hot and humid region, plants in hilly areas, and plant in marshy areas. Then we have done this wheat, maize, rice, etc. We put them in the grass family. Then one more section we can say insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants are those plants which trap insects to feed on, and they have got enzymes inside them which digest when the insect is trapped within them, so they digest the insects. So this finishes our plant world. In this only we are doing the animal life. This is the animal life. Animal life. Have you heard about dinosaurs? Yes, they lived on Earth long time ago. Then they died due to sudden changes in the climate of the Earth. The Earth's climate changed so quickly that they could not adapt to the surroundings and they died. They faded away. Animals, to adapt themselves to their surroundings or environment, this process is called, there is a term called adaptation. Adaptation. They adjust to their surroundings. They adjust to their surroundings, the animals, and if they do not, if they cannot adjust, they die out. The very common example, a very good example are dinosaurs. They lived long time ago on the earth, but because of the climatic, the environmental changes, they could not survive. They could not adapt themselves. These animals that are not able to adapt to their surroundings slowly die out. Now animals can, now this is adaptation. Now these animals can be divided like how we classified the plants. Same way animals also will be classified according to their, now in animals there are two, they are classified according to the environment. Again, animals are classified according to the food they eat, according to their food habits. So we will start with animals on the basis of their environment. First is terrestrial animal. Just now we did terrestrial plants. Here this is terrestrial animal, same. It pertains to land. Terrestrial means land. Is that clear? So animals which live on land, they are called terrestrial animals. Animals that live on land are called terrestrial animals. Common examples, I'm giving you common examples. They are cow, horse, giraffe. They have legs to move. Now since they are on the land, they have legs to move, lungs to breathe in air. Animals live in cold places have, now again, those animals which are living in cold places, they have got fur, on thick fur or long hair on their bodies like polar bear. And why do they have thick hair, thick fur, long hair on their bodies? To protect them from the cold. Animals that live on hot places have thick skin. This prevents loss of water. The animals which live in hot region, they have thick skin. So in this also we can write down that animals which live in cold region animals and hot region. Cold region and hot region. Cold region, they have got thick fur, fur coat like fur, and long hair. They may have long hair like polar bear, one common example, polar bear. Okay, and these animals, they have got thick skin. This prevents loss of water. Thick skin that prevents loss of water. This, okay, so hot region, many are there. Now next is camel. We'll read about camel. Camel is called the ship of the desert. You have seen a camel? Camel is called the ship of the desert. It can live without food for many days, around about 10 to 12 days. They can live without food. They can live without water. Now these camels, what are the features of camel? Now camel have got long eyelashes. You know what are eyelashes? These hair on your eyes. Those outgrowths, they are called eyelashes. They have got long eyelashes. Why? Because it keeps away, it helps to keep away the dust and the sand. And it can close its nostrils. The hump, that big thing on this, that hump is stores fat. It can be used when it cannot find any food to eat. That fat in its hump, they can use the fat when they do not find food to eat. Heat of the body escapes from the hump, and another, they have got broad pad on the bottom of their feet which helps them to walk on the sand. So this was about the terrestrial animal. This much is enough for you. One more term is there, hibernation. We can do it in this only, hibernation. Hibernation. Hibernation is they sleep in a warm place throughout the winter season. Some animals, they sleep in they find some warm place and they tide away this winter season and they sleep for the whole winter season just to escape the winter. Common example, frog. They use the fat stored in their bodies. Frog. Fat stored in their body. Is that clear? So hibernation. These terms you please keep in mind. Now this was about the terrestrial animal. Next we switch on to aquatic animals. We have done aquatic plants. Now same way here also we have got animals which live in water. They are called aquatic animals. Second is aquatic animals. Animals that spend most of the time, animals which live in water, they are called aquatic animals. Like fish, you can say shark, crab, there are many. Fish, shark, crab. Now fish have fins to swim. Turtles have paddle-like legs to push water back. Turtles you have seen, they've got paddle-like legs. They push the water behind as they swim. Fish also have gills to breathe. Fish have got fins to swim. Fish has got fins to swim and gills to breathe. Gills to breathe. Turtles have got paddle-like legs to push the water behind as they swim. And fish, fish also have got a streamlined body to swim. Fish has got a streamlined body. Next is arboreal animal. Arboreal animal. Arboreal animals that spend most of their time on trees, like monkeys. Monkeys and squirrels. Monkeys and squirrels. Then comes the aerial animal. Now, aerial animals that live in air. They spend birds and insects. They spend most of their time in the air and they are called aerial animals. Now, birds and insects, just let us see what are the features. Birds and insects. Birds have got they have got wings to fly. Their bodies are boat shaped and help them to cut through. You see the bird's body, it's like a boat. It helps them to it helps them to cut easily through the air. They are also light in weight. Birds are light in weight, so it helps them to fly. And all these features help them to fly. What are the features? They have got wings. They've got boat-shaped body. Boat-shaped body, and they are light. They are light. You can see birds, they've got wings to fly. They've got boat-shaped body, which helps them to cut through the air easily. And then they are light. So these features help them to fly. Their bodies are covered with feathers too. Birds have got feathers on their bodies. They have claws and beaks. Birds have got beaks to catch their prey. Next is insects. Insects also have got wings to fly. Insects also have got wings to fly, and they are colorful insects, you can see, and they have beautiful colored wings. Dragonflies use their big wings to fly over ponds. You must have seen on the ponds, big insects, they keep on flying on the ponds looking for their prey. Is that clear? Next is amphibian. Amphibian are those animals which live both on land and in water. Frog and toads. Common example, frog and toad. Frog and toad. Most adult amphibians have lungs to breathe in air. Now, what happens, this frog, when those tadpoles are in water, they are in the water. When they grow, they come on the land. Inside the water, they breathe through their moist skin. And when they are on the land, they breathe through their lungs. They also have limbs that are adapted for swimming. Is that clear? So, according to the environment, they are divided into terrestrial, aquatic, arboreal, aerial, and amphibian. They are divided into these categories. Terrestrial animals are those animals which live on land. They live on land. The animals which live in cold region, they have got thick fur on their body. They've got long hair to keep them. They protect them from cold. And then animals which live in hot region have got thick skin which prevents the loss of water. Examples I've already told you. For cold region animal, you can write down polar bear, and this year in a hot region, you can write down any common animals which you see, cow, buffalo, etc. Then aquatic animals, animals which live in water. They are called aquatic animals. They have got, we can say turtles are there, fish, crab, etc. Fish have got fins to swim, gills to breathe, and crab, this turtle has got paddle-like limbs, paddle-like legs to push the water behind as they swim. Then we have got arboreal animals, example monkeys and squirrels. Monkeys, they have got long tails which helps them to jump from one tree to another. Squirrels, there is another one more term called GNAW, gnaw. These squirrels, they gnaw their food, so they are called gnawing animals. Is that clear? They catch their food in their front legs, their forelegs, and they nibble these food. So they are called they gnaw their food, nibble. So they are called gnawing animals. Squirrels. gnawing animals. Is that clear? These are the terms you have to keep in mind. We'll be doing it again. Then aerial animals are birds and insects. Aerial animals are birds and insects. Birds again have got wings to fly, boat-shaped body. They have got feathers and they are light in shape, so it makes them easy to fly. And then they have got claws and beaks. Same way, insects also have got colorful wings. Moths have got colorful, beautiful wings. And dragonfly is one example you can see flying on the ponds to catch their prey. Amphibian, the animals which live both on land and on water. Land and on water. These animals, when they are in water, they breathe through their moist skin. When they are on the land, they breathe through their lungs. So, this is adaptation according to the environment. Then classification according to their food habit. Classification according to their food habit. Different animals have got different food habits. So, we will classify them according to their food habit. First is classification according to their food habit. I will only classification written. Classification. Okay. So I'll just give you the heading. That is, first is herbivores. We'll do it. We can do it in the next class. They can be classified into herbivores, carnivores, then omnivores, and parasites. Okay, you keep these four things in mind. We can do it in the next class. They can be classified again: herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, and parasites. Herbivores, only those which eat grass, plants, etc. Carnivores are flesh-eating animals. Omnivores, they eat both plant and flesh. And parasites, which they depend on other animals to live. Okay, so I will explain. We will do it in detail in the next class. So today what you all will do, you will just go through what we did yesterday also, and the structure of the leaf, the photosynthesis, parts of plants, and different functions of the different parts of the plant. And today we did the classification of plants also we did, and animals also. So please go through it, and any problems you collect it and then keep it for the doubt class. Keep it for the doubt class. You all can clear it. Is that clear? So see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Have a blessed day. Bye.